join me for one of my favourite autumn dinners, pork chops with caramelised apples in a mustard and cider sauce. So we'll start off by browning our pork chops. Now I've selected boneless pork chops. They're lovely and meaty and they'll cook faster because there's no bone in them. Give them a good season. So salt and black pepper. A little bit of olive oil in your non-stick pan. You need a good heavy base non-stick pan to cook pork chops and meat successfully. You'll find that they'll brown a lot better for you and they'll stay nice and moist and tender in the middle. So these will take a good 10 to 15 minutes to cook through. You want to make sure they're completely cooked through. You don't want to take any chance with pork. A little bit of salt and pepper on the side. But at the same time, you don't want to dry them out. So in my next pan, I'm going to caramelize some apples, and I'm using ordinary eating apples here. And just for visual purposes, I've used the red apples and left the skin on. Now this is a bowl of lemon water, just to make sure that my apples don't go brown or black. And in this pan, I'm going to melt a little bit of butter, and we're going to cook up our apples in a mixture of melted butter and some brown sugar. So here's the brown sugar. We'll add that in a minute. Our pork chops are sizzling away beautifully. Add in some brown sugar, and that's going to caramelize and get lovely sticky apples. So pop in some apples. Because they're going to be wet from the lemon water, it's just going to take a couple of minutes for the moisture to evaporate and the apples to start caramelizing. So the natural sugars in the apples are going to help them to caramelize and go a beautiful golden brown. And of course the butter and the sugar will help matters. Now it might seem a little strange, but I'm going to season the apples with salt and pepper. And this will elevate the apples from a dessert recipe to something that's more suitable for a savory side dish. So make sure your pork chops get to brown really well on one side before turning them over. So that's going to take a good 2 to 3 minutes. Don't be tempted to toss them back and forth, because they're not going to brown. You're going to end up with a very white, anemic looking piece of meat. So that's what you're looking for in the pork chop. Really good caramelization. So once both sides are well sealed, we're going to start on making our sauce around the pork chop. And the mixture that we're going to use is some fresh thyme, some whole grain mustard, and some fresh apple cider. Our apples are doing their thing. Just give them a bit of a turn every now and then, so all the apple pieces get equal time in the butter and sugar mixture. But they should be absolutely fine over there. So Mr. Pork Chop, let's check him out. Oh, a fabulous colour. So we'll leave him down on that side. And so to lift up all that caramelization and that browned goodness at the bottom, I'm going to add in our splash of cider. Turn your hob down. And that's going to lift everything up off the bottom. Some fresh thyme in. There we go. And the whole grain mustard. Give everything a good stir. Excellent. You can smell the thyme and the mustard coming out. So we've lifted up all that caramelization from the bottom of the pan. So we can add in the rest of our cider. And that can just simmer on a gentle heat. And all those lovely flavors will permeate the pork and finish cooking it. There we go. What you'll find is a lot of the cider will evaporate and you'll be left with something quite thick and sticky and sweet, which is lovely. So just prevent the sauce from going too sweet. A little bit of seasoning. So salt and black pepper. And we'll leave that to bubble away. Smelling absolutely gorgeous. Let's check on our apples over here. See, the apples are starting to go light golden brown, but we want a good caramelization on them. There we go. So guys, just going to hang out for a few minutes while the apples cook. So I'll give my apples one more whiz around, but they're looking absolutely delicious. Golden and brown and just softened. So I think we're going to plate up. Yep, those are good to go. So for a true autumn feast, you can serve your pork chops with cider and mustard with colcannon. And there's another video clip to go and reference if you want to learn how to make colcannon, which is a traditional cabbage and mashed potato dish. Pick a nice juicy pork chop. Ladle on some apples over it. That's looking fabulous. And a little bit of the sauce. And there we go. Autumn pork chops with caramelized apples in a cider and mustard sauce.